Ariel Helwani at Madison Square Garden in New York City alongside the reigning, defending Bellator lightweight champion Michael Chandler, who will be in action at Bellator NYC on June 24th right here at MSG against Brent Primus. And this is an interesting date. What happened June 24th of last year, Michael? Do you remember?
I do remember. I folded Patricky Pitbull up like a lawn chair and knocked his mustache halfway into the crowd. So June 24th, yeah. So to be the 1 year anniversary of me knocking him out, capturing the title again after my long 688 days without a win, and coming back and getting that title shot again. And so it's a great date, and I look forward to moving forward with that tradition of knocking guys out on June 24th.
Did the date ring a bell right away? Because it did for me.
Actually, it took my friend Nick Turnbow from St. Louis, who actually, because after the fight, I scored him tickets to the fight and had him sit front row and brought the belt with him, brought the belt to him after we won it and stuff. So it was a big day in his life, and I saw him post on Facebook that it was going to be 1 year to the date, and I was like, wow, it actually is exactly 1 year. So the date didn't actually ring a bell until he said something. So.
This is a big deal, obviously, for you, but for the company as well. And it kind of came out of left field for all of us. Mm-hmm. We didn't really know that Bellator was talking MSG, and certainly not talking about returning to pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. You're one of the few guys who can say, you were a part of that first one, now going to be a part of the second one. Did you know that this was in the works as well?
No, I wish I did, man. I've been trying to be as patient as possible. I want to fight. I want to fight the best guys I possibly can. Talking about moving up weight classes, talking about begging these guys to keep continuing to sign guys, and they are. So it's great, and it's working out well. And Scott, has to pull back the reins on me a little bit and say, hey man, just trust me, there's something big coming. Trust me, there's something big coming. So, I do have that kind of faith in my promoter and in my promotion that they're doing some big things, and they are. Here we are in the middle of Madison Square Garden promoting a huge pay-per-view fight with some huge names on it and some very exciting fights. So big things are happening. It's a great time to be in the position that I'm in, and sometimes you just have to practice patience, and that's what I've been trying to do, and working on stuff outside of the cage. And now it's 13 weeks of nose to the grindstone. June 24th can't come soon enough.
I referred to that first pay-per-view, and that wasn't a memorable night for you. Are you the kind of guys like, oh wow, this is a chance to exercise those demons, return on pay-per-view, I could put that in the past, or does that just kind of stay there and there's no chance of really rectifying what happened because it's a different opponent?
Yeah, I think it just stays there. Okay. Man, it's with my story and what I've done. I came out, shot out like a cannon, 12-0, 7 first-round finishes, winning the world title against Eddie Alvarez, getting ranked up there in the top 3, and then losing 3 fights in a row, 688 days without a win. And that one of those losses was there on that pay-per-view, and I was going in injured and had a horrible training camp and was urged by coaches and training partners and friends and family that I shouldn't take the fight, but I did, to help save the card and to help Bellator. And that's what I do. I go out on my shield for the people who care about me and the people that I care about. But looking back, maybe I shouldn't have taken the fight, but it's just one of those things where it's in the past, and really it's just it's a motivator, knowing how quickly things can slip through your fingers. I was on top of the world, and then it was slipped through my fingers like that, and then people were calling me overrated, and every single article was negative. Michael Chandler wasn't who we thought he was. Maybe he wasn't as good as we thought he was. And then to be able to come back from that and prove the naysayers wrong, and then now win the world title, and then beat one of the biggest names in the lightweight division history in Benson Henderson, and then now getting an opportunity to fight here at Madison Square Garden. Life is funny, and life is full of ups and downs, so I just leave it back there, and that's just back there locked up in a box. And I can open that box and kind of remember those feelings and remember the negativity and remember how negative self-talk or not believing in myself fully because of those losses affected me in a negative way, and I can remember how to practice every single day physically and also mentally and spiritually to make sure that those kinds of events never happen again. So it's locked back in the past until I need them.
The venue is big, the platform is big, but with all due respect to Brent, he's not the biggest name. And I know a lot of fans were like, who's Brent Primus? He hasn't fought in a year, and I know that wasn't necessarily his fault. He was supposed to fight in February, opponent got injured, but he just hasn't been active, hasn't been really pushed on the main card. Yeah. Did you know much about him? And regardless, what was your reaction when you found out that he would be your next opponent?
One thing Bellator does a good job of is signing young guys and getting them good fights and building them. And I knew Brent Primus was a guy I was going to fight eventually. Did I think I would be fighting him here at Madison Square Garden, defending the belt against him? No. I think it's not. It's definitely a little bit of an interesting matchup for this big of a card.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going to fight him eventually. I was honestly hoping some kind of super fight was going to materialize. I was asking for Michael Page, asking for Paul Daly, the Rory McDonald. Obviously, those guys are fighting. You got Lorenz Larkin and all these guys. You got Dillon Danis, who just came over talking all kinds of trash. The guy's a nerd, but it's one of those things where I'm excited to go out there and compete no matter who it is. And Brent Primus is exactly where I was 5 years ago when I came in like a thief in the night and finished Eddie Alvarez and took his title. So in this sport, when it's a game of inches and it's such a violent, turbulent sport where anything can happen inside that cage, you have to be ready. Brent Primus can beat me just as easy as anybody else in the entire world because it's a fight, and that's what it is, and you have to embrace the uncertainty. So no matter who it is, it's Madison Square Garden, June 24th, and I'm excited to go out there and compete.
I would be remiss if I don't ask you about Dillon Danis. You did retweet his answer to me yesterday on my show. He said that he's the highest paid fighter in Bellator, and you took exception. You don't think that he is telling the truth?
No, absolutely not. And the Conor McGregor shtick is old. Gallagher's trying to do it, and there's only one Conor, man. And give the guy credit where credit is due. Dillon, I liken him bumbling like Chael was talking about Vanderlei bumbling. He just can't talk, so he doesn't have a mouthpiece on him, so he needs to stick to his lane, and he needs to go out there and hopefully win fights in MMA. He hasn't proven himself yet, but good for him. Good for Bellator for picking him up. We're pretty much the same weight, so when he does prove himself that he actually might be a legitimate fighter, let's do it. But until then, take his little paychecks and keep them in his back pocket and don't act like they're bigger than they actually are. So.
Fair enough. Where do you fall in the whole Blackzilians thing? Are you
right in the middle?
Okay. How does that affect you?
Man, I tell you what, man. I have made my living off of spending the right amount of time and surrounding myself with the right people. And down there in Florida, I might not be training all the time with the Blackzilians or all the time with Henry Hoof's gym, but I'm making my camp around Neil Melanson, Henry Hoof striking, Neil Melanson's grappling, the team at the Blackzilians, and the team up at the Combat Club. It's an interesting, turbulent time.
You're going to both.
I am, yes.
Are you the only guy who does that?
Kind of. It's an interesting.
How's that met?
I don't know.
You haven't done it yet.
Well, I've been down there. Okay. I'm the kind of guy where I ask for forgiveness and not permission.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, this sport is this small window of opportunity I have is so short. If I go down there and make some people mad, who cares? If people want to get their feelings hurt, that's fine. But I'm going to try to figure out what I can do. Glenn Robinson has been a great guy for me. Neil Melanson has been my #1 main coach since the very beginning of my career. Henry Hoof has added so much confidence and technique to my striking, and the group of guys at both gyms at both places have really I've really grown to like a ton of them, like a brotherhood. So it's an awesome situation. It might be a little bit turbulent. It's almost like I have, I'm a child with divorced parents, and I kind of gotta go back and forth. But
yeah.
What's a guy got to do? You just gotta get after it and try to please as many people as you possibly can with the situation, and just really keep my nose to the grindstone. If you got a problem with what I'm doing, we'll talk it out and we'll figure it out. But my loyalty is to Neil Melanson first, and then Henry Hooft, and then those guys down there, and we'll figure it out as we go.
All right. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Good luck with the fight. Can't wait. June 24th. Looking forward to seeing how you will recreate or even top what you did last year. Always a pleasure.
There we go. Thank you. Appreciate it.